Morning everyone. I've got my casualties out of the shed lining up. We're going to bugger about with this RKV today. This really is a bag of shit. I really did get stitched up with this. Just looking at this, look at the state of that sprocket. It looks like someone's, well, I don't know what they've done. And also, if I hold the sprocket still, don't know if that's showing up, but I can move the wheel a good, no, I don't know, quarter of an inch, half inch without the sprocket actually moving. So this really is a bag of shite. I don't know how to pick them, and I paid too much money for this. I paid 180 quid for it, so yeah, off day obviously, but anyway, it is what it is, and we are going to attack this with an angle grinder. Now, unbeknown to him, Charlie the motorcycle rescuer has actually decided the fate of this bike. I may have said earlier, if I'm repeating myself, apologies, but in order to make this a viable restore back to standard, I would need a donor bike. Charlie has one via his friend Gary, but unfortunately the insurance companies are, it's a write-off I believe, and the insurance company are dragging their heels and making a decision about it. Otherwise I'd be able to buy that off Charlie or Gary and make a good decent bike out of the two of them. But anyway, that's not going to happen because, like I said, the insurance company are dragging the heels. I could wait, see if it becomes available, but I'm impatient. So what we're going to do, we're going to start attacking this with an angle grinder and a welder, and it's going to go one of two ways. We're going to make something nice out of it, or we're going to destroy it. But anyway, we're going to do it anyway, so let's get on with it. I want to get the tank. First thing I'm going to do, I know this starts and runs, but I'm going to start it up and put enough fuel in it, start it up and run through all the gears, because I've never tested it, so we'll just make sure all the gears select. Obviously can't put it under load, but we can do it on the stand. So yeah, let me get that set up and we'll come back. Right, I've filled that pipe up. Let's fire it up, run through the gears, just make sure all the gears select. Yeah, 5-speed box, all seem to select. One point of note is that has got a massive amount of play in it. That will need to be addressed. Absolutely unacceptable. Just going to let that run out of fuel again. The other thing as well that I'll need to do, if I go with that new tank, there's a fuel gauge there. If I use these propped over, which I'd like to, there's a fuel gauge there which will be of no use. So what I may do, and you know, this is sort of way ahead of myself here, but I could put a piece of carbon fibre on there and just cover that up and blank it. Yeah. Right. While that's running out of fuel, what did I do with the parts? I think I left them indoors. What I've got to do, apologies about the noise, but I wanted to run out of fuel. This tank thing, 2 rubber bungs go on there and the tank slides onto it. For the new tank I'm proposing, that's too big, it won't go over, and even if it would go over, it's too far forward. If I was to put my new tank onto there, the handlebars and the forks would hit it. So what I'm going to do is get a new one, or not new, second hand. The Zonte's frame had one, the frame that keeps on giving. Yeah, it had one there. I'll show you in a minute. We've cut that off. What's that? Yeah, we've cut that off, and we're going to try and weld it on in a new place on the Keeway. So really, once I've hacked in and cut that tank locating thing off, that's really it. There's no going back. So yeah, let me go and grab that, and we'll come back. Right, so this, obviously, as we just mentioned, this is the move that out of the way. This is the old tank mount, which I'm going to try and cut off, and this is the tank mount from the Zonte's, which I've removed from that frame. Now, the height is about correct, but it needs to come back, so it actually needs to go there. So what I'm now going to do is cut off that old one. I'll take some of this shit off, clean up around there, just see if we can get that tacked up on there, and then offer the tank up just to see how it looks. If it's fine, then we'll fully weld that and probably put some bracing on and what have you. So let me do that. Right, that tank mount, the old one, is off. Didn't put up too much of a resistance. I've got it cleaned up there, ready to weld on the new tank mount. And first casualty of my grinder is that split pipe. Nothing that can't be repaired, but a lesson to take more care. Could have been something more serious. Right, what have I done with it? Oh, it's there. Yeah, this is the bit off the Zonte's. So the plan is, and plans are great only if they work, is that we're going to tack weld that on about there, just to see if that positions the tank where I want it, and then if that does, we'll fully weld that and brace it and make it nice and strong. This one it was only tack welded on, to be honest with you, although it did have the advantage of going through that hole. So yeah, that's the next job. Let's crack on. Right, I've got that tacked on. Can't see a bloody thing because I just flashed myself with the arc welder. Yeah, we've like I say, we just tacked it on for the time being because it may have to come off. So let me stand you guys there. I've got these rubber whatsy faces. They're a bit loose on there actually, so we'll probably have to arrow dart them on, but we're just going for a test fit here at the moment. Pull the tank. I've got to be careful because, like I said, just tacked on, so I don't want to be knocking it off. That's not bad. Don't hit there. Don't hit there. Close, but it don't hit. Paintwork on this tank is shocking. I think it's probably going to have to be redone, but that's not bad. Quite happy with that. It is a nice red actually. Very nice red. Maybe that's the theme to go for. With regards to the back mounting, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet, but probably going to have to get a rubber bung for that. And I think this is a CG tank if I remember, Honda CG. But if necessary, I will cut this off. In fact, that's what I need to do, and probably mount it through that hole. I don't know. I think probably the next thing to do, well, I'm going to fully weld that up. I'm happy with that. That's going to be fully welded. Then I think the next thing to do is to start pulling that back end apart and then sort of orientate the seat where it's going to go. I do hope I can get it nice and flat and don't kick up too much up the arse end, because I think it looks horrible if it's kicked up in the same way that that back end is kicked up now. I don't like that. Anyway, onwards and upwards. I'm going to weld that up. Cheers. Right, that's welded on. Don't think it's going anywhere. So that's one job done. I think we need to start pulling this arse end out now, because until we've just excuse me guys, I should have done this before I switched the camera on, but I'm just putting the legs of my tripod down. Yeah, before I can sort of figure out how I'm going to secure the back of the tank, I really need to get this back end stripped down and sort of ascertain the orientation of the rear seat. So let's start getting some of this crap off. Incidentally guys, if you have an RKV and you need anything off this bike, I will let it go either extremely cheaply or even give it away. It'll help someone out. I've just noticed something. I'll show you. Quality of that Allen key. I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually twisted. Ah well. Right. Off with the grab rails. I'm stacking up casualties here. I've got my Kimco over there, which I've lost spark on. I've got my YBR there, which I've lost spark on. Now I'm starting on this, and to be honest with you, I'm getting bikes stacking up. I can't sort of buy anything else because I need to get rid of some of the other stuff, so I've either got to sell it off as is for someone else to figure out, or I've got to get my arse in gear and try and sort out why those bits and pieces are not working as they should. With that in mind, to be honest, I'm not that bothered about selling them, but if someone was to make me a nice little offer to swap something, I'd be interested. Well, I might be interested in selling them, I suppose, if the price were right. Bigger screwdriver, what we need. Yeah, I just need to sort of get things moving again and sort of incentivise myself a bit. one thing that puts me off a bike, as is probably quite obvious, is you lose spark on it and can't figure out why. Jesus, that's tight. Yeah, I sort of lose interest very quickly. And I'm prepared to spend the money on them, but if I don't know where I need to spend the money, it's bloody awkward. The Kimco, well, definitely eliminated the coil as being the fault, and I've done that because I've had 2 or 3 coils which I weren't sure worked or not, but we know the coil off this RKV works, so off camera I popped it onto the Kimco and still no spark. So we are down to either the stator or the CDI, or possibly both. What's holding that on? Because I don't need these, the temptation to just rip it off is there and bust them off, but you know, someone might need them, so we'll try and take a bit of care if we can. Yeah. Right, I'm going to tear that back end down off camera. We'll pop you guys back on when we've got something to look at. Right, as you can see, I've got the tank in position and I've put the seat up to the tank. You give an idea of how much I've got to cut off, but also there's that big gap below the seat, so we have got to get that tank down a fair old bit. What I think I'm going to probably do, just to get an idea, is I'm going to hack it off just there, both sides, and then probably clean some of the shite up on here, and then offer the seat up again and see what that looks like. In fact, let's get the disc cutter out. What did we say? Yeah, so just in front of that bracket there. Let's do some chopping. Let's turn it on. There's certainly no going back now. The cable ain't quite long enough. Just move that forward a bit. That's better. That's a big old chunk of metal. By the way guys, I know I'm setting an appalling example. No safety glasses. Just saves you the bother of commenting. Looks quite good already actually. Let's pull that rubber thing out there, just get that tank down a bit lower. I've still got to fix the back of the tank as well. That needs fixing down. Alright, seat. Still needs to go lower. I am beginning to like the look of it, I'll be honest. But that whole lot's got to come down, hasn't it? It's all got to come down much lower. I think I can clean all this garbage off here, that's not a problem. But I think that bracket there is probably going to come off as well. Let me clean some of this crap off here and then we'll come back for another look. Better. Still need it lower, but better. That's a lot lower than I thought I would ever get it, but I still think I can do better than that. There's still some more crap I could remove. But, yeah, what do you think guys? Is it beginning to look the part? I've got that hoop to put on the back as well, which is going to help the back end out and give me somewhere to mount the light. So yeah, I've never done anything like this before. It's the first time. I've seen other YouTubers doing it and I thought, well, why not? And do you know what? I don't actually like these bikes. I prefer standard. I don't like seeing them hacked about like this, but this one was it was more or less scrap, so what have I got to lose? But yeah, just so I can say I've done one, no other reason. Okay, I'm going to finesse that a little bit and see about where that hoop can go. I've got to get some plugs as well for the hoop. Plugs, by the way, just for those that don't know, because not everybody's an expert, and I certainly ain't. When you attach the hoop to the back of this frame, you can't just butt it up and weld it, it won't be strong enough. So what you do is you put a piece of tube in, a smaller diameter in there, and in the back of the tube you're putting on, so it'll effectively give it strength, hold itself on, and then you fully weld them up. But yeah, we're let's fine tune that and see where we go from here. Right, I think this is kind of working itself out in a way, because we've got the tank where it needs to be, we've got the seat where it needs to be and can only be one place, i.e. butted up to the tank, and then we've got the seat hoop, which I've just sort of loosely positioned there. So obviously the loop has got to be there, can't be anywhere else, because it's got to match the back of the seat. So what it's telling me is that we need to make an incision right down there, and we've got to cut through that plate as well, so we'll have to sort of flitch that up or something or do something to make that look tidier. Not sure what, we'll worry about that when we come to it. Right, more grinding, more cutting, more noise. Let's crack on. Dare I say this? Yeah, go on, let's tempt fate. This is going surprisingly well. Now, I don't know if you can see what I've done there, but I've hacked off the frame tubes, but I've left these flitch plate things, these strengthening bars, where they were. Because, and the jack, I've had to spread it a little bit, that's nothing to worry about. But what I can probably now do is just drop that in there. I now don't need the plugs because they're, you know, that's going to be fully welded up. And do you know what? I'm pretty damn pleased with myself. Just tap that in there. Yeah. But you know, you get the gist of what I'm trying to do. And then that will just fully weld up in there. And yeah, I'm quite pleased with that, though I say it myself. Right, let me get that clamped into place. I really do need to buy some more clamps. I'll bust all mine. I think I've got one left because I keep breaking them. Let me just grab a clamp, the one clamp that I have got. Oh, I know. Mole grips, you can't go wrong with mole grips, can you? I've got to clean all this up obviously with a grinder. But yeah, let's just start getting things clamped into place and we can begin to see what it's going to look like. I might need to take a little bit more off yet, because that might be sitting proud of the back of the seat, but yeah, that's not too shabby. I've got another big pair of mole grips, probably not. Right, note to self, buy some decent mole grips. Tell you what if we clamp these ones on here, thus, and use the decent pair to try and squeeze that. With me big hammer. Nothing a big hammer can't sort out. Yeah, I think you get the gist of what I'm doing, don't you? So I might just put a couple of self-tappers in that, just hold it in place while I offer the seat up to it. Let me just put this jack back in and just so we can spread that a little. Spread the joy. Spread the love. Spread the bike. Right. We have a, yeah, I thought I did. Yeah, that's pushing one side out and not the other. Back here a bit. You watch me twat my nice tank. Yeah, I think that could be. Get off the bastard. I think that could be made to work with a bit of jiggery pokery. I'm liking it. Bit of finessing required, but yeah, I'm liking that. Right, let me get Gary the grinder out. We'll do some tickling up and some fettling and see how the seat looks on it. Back soon. Right then, folks, we are going to call it a day there. Now, I've fully welded that up. That's going nowhere. That is part of the bike. I might have to tweak it a bit and level it up, and probably the welds will benefit from a bit of a tidy up, but it is on, it is welded, and I'll just pop the seat on. Hang on, let me pop you guys down there because I need two hands to pop that on. The back of the tank still isn't fixed. That's going to be a job for another day. And the back profile of the hoop doesn't exactly match the back profile of the seat, so it is a tad out. We've also got this gap here, which I kind of knew we were always going to have. I've got to put some support under that seat as well, probably a welded bar across or something. But yeah, all in all, not a bad day. Right, we will continue this on another day. For the time being, guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Hit the like button, hit the bell, you'll know when I'm uploading another video there. Thanks everyone, cheers, catch you later.